2010. We also have a plaque for Joe to take home and have it as home. Okay? Thank you. And go sit down with him. This plaque represents the charter members of the Rocky Hill Firefighters Museum. We present this to Chief Kohanek as another plaque that you can put on your walls, client room, or whatever it may be. But well, we need one here too, Joe. Okay. And again, we thank you for your dedication of service to the town of Rocky Hill and the Rocky Hill Fire Department. Yes, and now I'll turn the mic over to Chief Kohanek.
Well, I want to thank you all for coming here today. I never expected this. I'm actually humbled by it. There's a group of people around here, one standing with the hose out of his nose for one. Paul, Dave, and the rest of the gentlemen here. Let me tell you a quick story. Paul was ringing the bell. Names were being read. I was fortunate enough to know probably 60% of those guys when I first started. They're a special group. New kids didn't mess with them. When you became an old guy, you intimidated the younger kids. But every one of us that had been in the department for any length of time knew somebody whose name was read today. And someday our names will get read and the bell will ring for us. My concept for this, after knowing the people who started this department, was that they needed some sort of remembrance. And Father Bill, in his invocation this morning, mentioned that you can't build on the future unless you know what the history was, right? This is the history. This is Rocky Hill, the essence of Rocky Hill's population back then, going forward. People in back of me here are a cross-section of the town made up of different people with different personalities that band together when the community needs help. And I think for future people that move into town, our grandkids, places like this, you take them in here and you say, you know, that was your father or your grandfather was here. And if you know the names that were read, there was a million Grizzles, there was a million all kinds of people whose sons today are in the department. So the tradition's carried on and we build new traditions with new people. But it always comes back to here, but you can always take somebody down here and show them exactly what the town of Rocky Hill is and what it's made of. Fine, great, upstanding, hardworking, conscientious individuals. And for that, Dave and Paul and the rest of the committee, I thank you for this honor today. And like I say, it'll be remembered by me for a long time. And I thank you all for coming.
Thank you, Chief. What a great and well-deserved honor. And, you know, you can't have great chiefs without great Indians, and a lot of credit goes out today to the committee. I'd like to recognize the museum committee who worked long and tireless hours to get this place in shape. Captain Hawkins and Colonel Stewart at the helm, these folks overcame many obstacles to turn this firehouse into a showcase. Congratulations and job well done. I have a last-minute presentation to the museum, and it comes, and Lieutenant Gentili, it comes from Command Sergeant Major Kim Walker. who's currently serving with the United States 118th Medical Battalion in Iraq. And coincidentally, that's the same medical battalion that Captain Hawkins was assigned to a few years ago, right there? A few years ago. Sergeant Major Walker is the son of Truck 1 Lieutenant Jim Walker, who died tragically from injuries sustained in a department training accident in 1974. And I'd like to read the certificate. And it reads, goes bottle of water. Thank you, Mike. It reads, Operation Iraqi Freedom, 2009-2010. This certificate is presented to the Rocky Hill Fire Department from the Task Force 118th Medical Battalion. This is to certify that on 27 January 2010, this American flag was flown over the 118th Medical Battalion Headquarters, Joint Base Balad in Iraq. Signed by Kim P. Walker, Command Sergeant Major, United States Army, and verified by Anthony Beatman, Major, United States Army. And I want to thank Gail Walker for making sure we got that. Captain Conlon, we also have one for Station 1 here for you. Okay, now it's my turn to say a couple things about you. Did you actually think I was going to sit up here and not say something? You got last dibs? Deal. All right. I met Joe about 37 years ago when I was a kid with my father up at Two's. And if I remember correctly, you had a full beard back then, right? Weren't you the one who outlawed beers in the fire department too? Okay. Well, ironic there. Joe was incredibly instrumental in the development of this department. I could go on and list all his accomplishments, but I think all we got to do is look around. The frontline apparatus across the street, staged up the street, the beautiful building we're in, and of course Engine 1 sitting right there. That was in a barn 5 years ago until Joe decided it's time to come home. And none of which would be here without the persistence, dedication, and stubbornness of Joe Kohanek. Yeah, I went there. Yeah, okay. For that, Joe, you have our unconditional gratitude and admiration. As I prepared my remarks today, I realized that Joe's always been a pivotal part of my fire department career, and I feel it's necessary to mention what I consider to be the most important lessons he passed on to me. And number one is, the fire department must always be grateful for and honor our past members. And I think you summed that up best earlier. At all times, face the present with dignity and determination. Treat the future as an opportunity, not an obstacle. And lastly, provide the citizens of Rocky Hill with the best service possible, not because it's our job, but because it's our privilege. And Joe, I thank you for those. All right, now I get to speak directly to the guys in blue out there. You guys have heard me say this before, and you're going to keep on hearing it. You know that point in your career when you feel like you know everything about firefighting? You know that time, guys. After about 4 or 5 years, you have all your certifications, you got a couple good fires under your belt, been to a couple hazmat calls, a couple good rescues. Now you think you've seen it all? Yeah, a bunch of you guys are starting to nod. You know what I'm talking about. You know that point. You know what? It happens to all of us. When our egos begin to outrun our capabilities, well, when you're there, if you haven't been already, that's when you need to talk to Joe Kohanek. Okay? That's when you need a little bit of Sonny Boy reality to refocus you.